Hey guys, it's me Piyush, and today we're going to be talking about Apple's newest and latest Mac Pro. So, let's get started. In WWDC 2019, Apple unveiled the new cheese grater Mac Pro. I mean, look at this, it has everything: the handles, the grating grills, and the legs. Even if you go on Google Images and search up cheese grater, the first three things that pop up are about the Mac Pro. Other than the design, this Mac Pro is really awesome. I mean, the specs are insane and it's finally configurable. Let's start off talking about the design. The entire case is made out of aluminum and then it's held together by a stainless steel frame. This type of design lets you easily access all the components from each and every single side. On the top, there's the two handlebars and then the latch that opens up the Mac Pro. There are also two Thunderbolt 3 ports and a power button. Then on the front of the device is a lattice pattern. This is supposed to make cooling much more efficient. Then on the back, there are two more Thunderbolt 3 ports, a headphone jack, and two USB-A ports. On the left and right sides of the Mac Pro is obviously the Apple logo. And then on the bottom is the stainless steel legs that can be upgraded to wheels. Next, moving on to the inside of the device. The Mac Pro has an Intel Xeon processor. This processor can be spec'd all the way up to 28 cores with 2.5 GHz. That's insane. Just for reference, my MacBook has 2 cores, and whatever I do, it handles that pretty well. So just imagine 14 times the computing power. Then, talking about the RAM. This starts at 32 GB of RAM, and then can be spec'd all the way up to 1.5 TB of RAM. Yes, I just said 1.5 TB of RAM, not storage, RAM. My MacBook has 8 GB of RAM. So if you do some calculations, that's over 185 times the RAM of my MacBook. Then there are 8 PCI Express card slots that just expand the bandwidth of your Mac Pro. There's also an optional afterburner card. This card is made for video editors. This will basically let you edit 12 streams of 4K or 3 streams of 8K content in Final Cut Pro with real-time rendering and no lag. The inside of the device has space to install up to 4 Radeon Pro Vega 2 GPUs. That adds up to 56 teraflops of computing performance, 128 GB of memory, and up to 4 TB of memory bandwidth. On top of that, each GPU comes with its own integrated cooling. Talking about cooling, the front of the machine has 3 quiet fans, and then on the back there's a blower that sucks air out of the machine. This keeps the Mac cool and functioning. This Mac Pro is purely meant for professionals. For them, this is kind of an investment because time is money, and this Mac Pro is going to cut off a lot of time in photo editing, video editing, 3D modeling, stuff like that. I mean, it's really cool how much a cheese grater can do in 2019. With such a powerful machine, you obviously need a good monitor, and that's where the Pro Display XDR comes in. It has a 16:9 aspect ratio. That's the same as the aspect ratio you're watching this video in. It has a sustained brightness of 1000 nits and a peak brightness of 1600 nits. The contrast ratio is 1,000,000 to 1. This means that it's going to have deep dark blacks and bright whites. The 6K LCD panel has 10-bit color depth and covers the entire P3 gamut. There's also a super wide viewing angle and up to 25 times better off-axis contrast. With the Pro Display XDR, Apple's introduced new nano texture glass. This basically scatters light and reduces glare. In addition, the Pro Display XDR is a True Tone display. Also, it comes pre-calibrated in the box. The bezels are also pretty thin, standing at around 9mm. Just for comparison, the new iPad Pro, the 3rd generation, has an 8.9mm bezel. And just like the new Mac Pro, the lattice pattern is continued onto the back of the Pro Display XDR. It has the same function just to help cool the device down. So whenever Apple announced these two things, everybody was pretty happy. I mean, this was a really big step up from the previous Mac Pro. And then Apple dropped the prices. The Mac Pro starts at $6,000 for a 8-core 3.5 GHz Intel Xeon processor, 32 GB of RAM, an AMD Radeon Pro 580X, and 250 GB of internal SSD. If you're gonna get the least spec'd out Mac Pro, I really recommend just get an iMac Pro. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The display is included in the box. You don't need to pay any extra for it. Then the Pro Display XDR cost $5,000. I know this does seem like a lot for a 6K display, but trust me, if you look at professional monitors like a Sony monitor, those start at $23,400. But sadly, the stand does not come in the box. I don't know why Apple would do this. This is pretty dumb. I mean, Apple could have just done this. They could have included the stand in the box and said the Pro Display XDR costs $6,000. Nobody would really care that much, but Apple thinks the price is well justified for a $1,000 piece of aluminum because they say that you can use the Pro Display XDR with their stand, of course, in portrait mode, and it just magnetically connects. So I don't know, if you're gonna be willing to pay $1,000 for that much, go ahead. So that's all for today's video about the new Mac Pro and the Pro Display XDR. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really motivates to make more videos for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.